When I think of New Orleans, I think of the French Quarter, Mardi Gras, and beignets. Keep watching to learn how to make Louisiana's state donut. Join us on Get the Dish, where we find out the secrets behind signature dishes from famous chefs and eateries and show you how to recreate them at home. The king of beignets is Café du Monde. They've been serving the classic fried fritters since 1862 in the New Orleans French market. These fried pieces of dough are served piping hot, covered in powdered sugar with a side of café au lait. So to make the beignets, we're gonna start by activating the yeast in warm water and sugar in a mixing bowl. You wanna make sure the water is warmer than body temperature so it can activate the yeast. Now it's gonna take about 5 minutes, but you're gonna start to notice bubbles forming and a little bit of foam on the top. And just let it set. All right, so take a look at those bubbles. Our yeast is nice and activated. Now I'm going to add our salt, fresh lemon zest. We're gonna do about 3/4 of the lemon, our nutmeg, and 1 egg. Just whisk this up to combine. Now this recipe calls for a lot of flour, so I'm actually gonna pour our yeast mixture into a bigger bowl, add our milk, and I'm just gonna gradually add our flour, about 1½ cups. If you have a stand-up mixer, you can use that to make the batter, as long as you use the dough hook. Now I'm gonna add the butter. An easy way to add the butter into the batter is to just press it against the sides of the bowl, kind of mash it up, so that then it makes for a smooth batter. That's why it's really important that your butter is room temperature. Now we're gonna add 1 3/4 cup of flour and continue to mix. All right, now it's coming together into a nice dough. I'm just gonna add the rest of this flour. And then the remaining flour we're actually gonna use to knead into the dough. All right, that's about all that I can add with the spoon. Now I'm just gonna get in there. Oh, it feels so good. Now I'm just gonna add that remaining flour and knead it all together. Now once you have the majority of it, this is when you can take it out of the bowl and just really continue to knead it into itself until it becomes smooth. This will take about 5 minutes. Our dough ball looks perfect, right? It's nice and smooth. So we're not ready yet. The dough needs to rise. So we're gonna place the dough in a lightly oiled bowl, just a little bit of vegetable oil, and then cover it with plastic wrap and let it set in a warm, draft-free spot until it doubles in size. So this dough ball is actually gonna get bigger than the bowl. This will take about 60 minutes. After about an hour, we're gonna remove the saran wrap, and you can already see that the dough has doubled in size. Now we're gonna punch it down. This is gonna redistribute the yeast. That's so fun. We're gonna lightly flour the work surface. Then we're gonna roll out the dough until it's a 1/2 inch thick. So the beignets at Café du Monde are square shaped, so I found this square cutter, but if you don't have a square cutter, you can also use a pizza cutter and then just cut the shapes of the beignets. All right, so once you have it to about a 1/2 inch thick, you're gonna cut them out as close to each other as possible. Put them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. We're gonna let them rise a second time, but make sure you keep them in a warm, draft-free spot for about 1/2 hour. Oh, that one's not quite a square. That's okay, they'll taste just as good no matter what shape. Take a look at our beignets. They've risen up nicely. They're nice and puffy, so now we're ready to fry them. Heat your oil in a medium pot or a deep fryer like I have here until it reaches 350 degrees, and it's always a good idea to use a thermometer to make sure because you don't want to burn them. So now we're gonna fry the beignets in small batches just to make sure that they don't get overcrowded in the fryer until they're brown all over, about 1 or 2 minutes. They look beautiful and golden. Now I'm just gonna remove them with a slotted spoon and let them drain on a paper towel or on brown paper. And I'm just gonna continue frying up the rest. These beignets are so easy to make and they're so good too. They're crispy on the outside and then like fluffy pillows of heaven on the inside. Now you can enjoy them with a little powdered sugar or hit it with a little bit of strawberry jam right on top. That is so good, and just like at Café du Monde, you can't enjoy a beignet without a little cup of café au lait. I'm Brandy, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time we get the dish on Pop Sugar.